As your organization grows, you may be considering adding a key enrollment specialist or even a team of enrollment specialists to move potential parents from inquiry to registration and beyond. You already know Childcare CRM excels at that, so let's take a look at the Childcare CRM enrollment team functionality and see if it could be a good fit for your team. With this new feature set, we hope to offer enrollment specialists the ability to move across the databases and work with any lead that they need to as they move through the pipeline, regardless of the center that the lead inquired at. This gives your team a more full picture of all of the parents' interactions, whether it's at center level or enrollment team level. So let's dive in and see if it's the solution you need.
What is an enrollment team? What is a call center? Well, as you guys have grown, and we've grown with you, we've had to kind of modify the system a little bit. An enrollment team is a group of people, or even could just be one person, who sits kind of at a level up at your corporate or your home office. They might manage all of the incoming leads. They might manage the follow-up after the tour. Essentially, anytime you get a new lead in via the web or maybe even a phone, they're going to take that lead, they're going to kind of do the data entry, do the warming up, the nurturing, and then they may hand it to your directors or your center level staff to give that prospective family a tour, show them around, and you can either let the directors take it from there or you can take it back, nurture it. I see enrollment teams nurture even after enrollment or post-withdrawal. So the possibilities are endless. Now we had to add this feature in because what you were doing is kind of essentially giving your enrollment team very, very, very high level access, which was what they needed, but not also what they needed. So we've kind of modified some things so they don't have to dip and dive into centers and back to top level. They can work across all of the locations and really be useful. So Ryan,
I'm going to go back to the right spot first.
Yeah.
First, we got preferences.
If you're wondering whether you might need the enrollment team functionality, always give us a call. We can kind of give you some step-by-step instructions. It's a very hard feature to deploy and then pull back, so really think about it. If you have a very small enrollment team, there might be another solution, but if you're working a call center or you've got a group of people who need to be able to maneuver across locations and within the database, all sorts of places, this is probably the way to do it. To start, you're going to need administrator access. So that means those of you who can see the settings tabs, who can update your business rules, who can get into the preferences, you're going to want to enable this preference within the preferences section in the settings tab. Once that's on, you're live. It's good to go. From there, you have some decisions to make about how you want to use the enrollment team and what tasks you want them to be able to utilize. So within the enrollment team settings, we've given you the option to basically say, okay, you have two different ways to do this. You can say that any lead that comes in the system is going to be processed by the team as a whole. It's kind of first come, first serve. Or you can say I have a specific rep at each location that needs to be kind of point person for these leads. So in your enrollment team settings, you can decide, do I want the rep at the location to be assigned automatically when I bring this lead in, or do I want the enrollment team as a whole and kind of first come, first serve it? Whoever added it. So remember, whoever clicked that green check mark, they would be assigned the lead. From there, below that, we gave you the ability to do merge variables, and if you're not familiar with that term, those are the functions within inside of your email templates that will insert lead first name, location director first name. And we gave you the ability to do that because oftentimes your enrollment team has kind of a general inbox. They have it might be enrollment@luckylearners.com or your enrollment team at Lucky Learners. You don't necessarily want it to say Emily Smith, Ryan Hodges. You want it to give the team as a whole a name, and you can kind of utilize that within your templates, right, Ryan?
That's right. Let's see. I'm going to just type a few of these in here. Oh, man. Here we go. Back to bad typing. New studio, still bad typing.
Shake the dust off. Don't call it a comeback. I wanted to play that at the top of the webinar.
All right, there's a few of them right there.
I love the idea of the enrollment team URL because I think, remember, it's just a .com or a whatever you can get to. So even if you want to direct that URL back to a cool enrollment team form or a special packet. I saw at a recent conference somebody had done a landing page that was basically all of their enrollment packet, you know, luckylearners.com/enrollment, and it was all of the PDFs and everything in there. So I think your enrollment team landing page could be that. That's a really neat idea. Your general enrollment team number and extension. So this is the management of the enrollment team. So it's kind of in its own separate settings tab with the intention that this function might have to grow a little bit. We might need another place to manage it. So once that's on, you'll have the enrollment team settings tab.
I got the other shot there. Awesome.
I want to show you, if we can jump to the business rules, how you might need to change some things up. Okay, so this, before you dive in, I've always told you guys, if you have not changed your business rules, if you are not very, very comfortable, this is a very good time to raise your hand, send a chat in, and say, somebody walk me through it. It can be a little daunting. But if you roll the enrollment team functionality out, this is also a very good time to put it on paper, get your workflow down, and talk about a perfect world. In a perfect world, when a new lead comes in, I want this to happen, I want this task assigned. It's a good time to revamp it before you roll this out. So in your business rules, if you wanted to say, you know what, initially we had our first phone call assigned to the location director, but we actually think we want that assigned to a team. So if you click that phone call and you hit edit, now you have the ability to say, I want this to go to the enrollment team, or I want it to go to the enrollment rep on that lead. And we are going to show you that. But remember, in that settings tab, you just said, I want pending leads to be processed at my specific representative level, or I want them processed for the first come, first serve method. So this is where you could do that. Even if I first come, first serve it, if the rule says assign the phone call to the rep, we will automatically assign that follow-up to the rep.
That's right.
All right.
Nailed it.
So you can always go enhance current business rules. This is a really good time to add some new creative business rules. If you've got an enrollment team in place, you probably should have a post-enrollment nurture process going or a pre-withdrawal nurture process going. Be thinking about that. I always tell you guys, when you're looking at your business rules, think outside the box. What are you doing manually, and can the system do it for you? Raise your hand, ask. We might be able to come up with a cool way to do it. All right, so beyond the business rules, let's talk about how your enrollment team processes their tasks. So let's jump to the home screen. And your enrollment team logins, they don't have to change. Once we give them access to this enrollment team level, when they log in, now at the tasks, they're going to be able to toggle between my tasks, so the same old things that are assigned to me, available team tasks. What that is basically, if we've said this task in that business role should be assigned to the enrollment team and not a specific person, there's going to be a list of tasks here that you can go grab. It doesn't matter who you are, you can grab it, you can follow up on it. Once you do, obviously that's going to be completed by you, assigned to you. So that's what available team tasks is. It's nothing to be alarmed by. It doesn't mean they're not necessarily overdue. It just means anyone can take them. So that's available team tasks. And then you have all enrollment team tasks. So that's going to be any member of your team that's on your enrollment team. You'll see their names in there, what's overdue, what needs to get done. We've basically just enhanced the tasks bar. So now you've got mine, available team tasks, all team tasks, and then you still have, if you have access to this, you still have the ability to see all tasks. So my enrollment team, my directors, my assistant directors, my regional people, that hasn't changed. The only things we've added is open enrollment team tasks and specific individual enrollment team tasks.
One other thing to note on this screen is when we added these two extra pieces here, we noticed that each one, the two original ones, had different column headings, and so we've actually made it the same column headings across each one and enhanced the pop-up to have the same data. So the tabs are consistent across each one as opposed to one being slightly different, which was causing a lot of confusion. So we also standardized the grid here. So
It's muscle
consistent.
memory. It always happens to me. It happens here and in reports. If I'm used to going to the right side, I always go to the right side. And I love, just as we've changed these headers, the ability to sort those, the ability,
Well, and you also have the search
and
here.
the advanced search. I think that you could search for all emails, all phone calls, anything assigned to Ryan, anything assigned to Mandy. You can just pull it up. If you're looking for a specific lead, you can look at anything in the future with her, not just the ones that are due in the next 7 days. These are shortcuts that we sometimes don't think about, especially those of you who are going to utilize this enrollment team. You may be longtime users who have, like I said, muscle memory, use the system one way over and over and over again. Explore them, see what the search does. There's also advanced search options up at the top too that have really improved over the years. Okay, so that's how you can toggle between the tasks. Why don't we look inside of a specific lead? If you want, yeah, that's the one. Go to lead.
So one other thing
Yeah.
that we've done here, just to show everybody, is we removed the action column and made the whole things. It used to be when you clicked on it, it did one thing. When you checked the green check, it did another. And a lot of complaint was too much confusion was going on. So now when you click on, doesn't matter where you click, it takes you to the action screen. And then you do have the ability to go to the lead if you want to, or you can complete the task right here. In our case, we're going to go to the lead. Here you are.
Yeah, all right. So if you scroll down to the tasks to do, I wanted to kind of show you guys in that assigned to, here's where I was talking about. Emily Smith, in this case, in this database, is on the enrollment team. She's an enrollment team member, and that task was set to specifically assign to her. Where you see it assigned to enrollment team, that's where you're going to see those available team tasks. That means anybody can grab to it, first come, first serve. Right?
Yep.
Within that lead, if you want to edit her file, here's also where you can see. Now, if you've already set up the enrollment team member at your location level and you've assigned that out, this will automatically hit. As soon as you process, it'll process to that enrollment team rep. You can always change it up. If you don't have anybody assigned, it'll still be assigned to system, and then those tasks will fall to the enrollment team, kind of triggering you that you need to assign somebody there. Ryan, tell us the difference between an enrollment rep and a family rep, because I think that may get muddied as we move on.
So we originally were setting up the family rep as the enrollment rep, and then we noticed there were some people wanting to use it as the rep that the family interacts with post enrollment.
Right.
And so there were multiple reps in here, so we decided to go ahead and to add the enrollment team as its own and leave the family rep. The family rep is a much lighter version of tagging responsibility to a lead, independent of the sales process. So if you have a coordinator or somebody that manages the family post-enrollment, you can tag that person as the family rep and the enrollment team managing the onboarding or the sales process.
Cool.
It is a feature set that can be turned on and off independently in enrollment rep. You can think of it as enrollment rep light if you don't want the full functionality. But we kind of we put the piece in and we found a use for it that was different than intended.
Yeah.
And so what we decided to do is just really hone in on that feature set and then expand out the enrollment team.
I like it. Okay. All right. So I think as far as enrollment team, the only other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that you do have an ability, within the enrollment team settings. You guys can decide specific task types that can be assigned back to your enrollment
let's go
team
back.
from location level. So let's say you would never want somebody to accidentally assign the starts today task back to the enrollment team. You can uncheck that. If you would never want a director to be able to give a task back to the enrollment team or assign a new task for the enrollment team, within that settings tab, you guys are going to be able to say, as a location level user, here's what you can give back to your enrollment team and expect us to process, right?
That is correct. Now, there's also the ability, if I remember correctly, we don't allow a director to edit an enrollment team task. So if an enrollment team task is automatically added, we don't let the director go in there and add, manipulate, change it. That way it doesn't get messed up.
Right.
So if it's assigned to the enrollment team,
Kind of read only.
it's kind of read only. They
Okay.
can see it in the list, but they can't edit it.